Battle through the firmament. Grand world. Chapter 372. 5 Emperors. Boom. With a loud sound that was enough to shatter a mountain rock, Xiaoyan slowly walked out of the dust that filled the air and flicked away the dust on his body. Xiaoyan let out a breath, causing the foul air in his chest to be emptied. In 2 days, it is finally time for the 5 Dao Emperors. Clenching his fists tightly, Xiaoyan gently smiled. When he thought of the flame mantra burning spell asterisk, Xiaoyan helplessly shook his head. Even though his strength had improved, his cultivation technique was still as weak as before. After entering the realm in Valley, he had to find a way to enter the illusory spirit space as soon as possible. But these past few days, why haven't I found any students passing by? Could it be that all of them have gone to look for rare herbs? He looked around. Xiaoyan smacked his lips. In the past 2 days, during the process of advancing to the 5 Paths Emperor, he had occasionally used his soul force to observe his surroundings, but he did not see a single student passing by. Taking out the black token, the score on it had indeed decreased by half, becoming 150. The light blue number was slowly jumping. I have to get the points as soon as possible, or else I will not live up to the elders' arrangements. With a bitter smile, he put away the token. Xiaoyan raised his head and soul power surged out from his brows like a tidal wave, instantly covering the surroundings. Not a single person. The spiritual strength that could be used to refine 6th grade medicine pills was already sufficient to cover an area of nearly 100 miles. In just a moment, Xiaoyan had thoroughly inspected this area. Strange. Xiaoyan opened his eyes and muttered softly. His face was filled with doubt. From his earlier inspection, he had seen some students. However, these people had actually gathered together. He pondered for a moment. Xiaoyan immediately rushed towards the crowd. No matter what he did or collected points, he had to get in touch with the others first. Brother Zhao, it has been 6 days, and we haven't found Xiaoyan yet. Could it be that 11 people were resting on the ground about 60 miles away from Xiaoyan? A young man with a delicate and pretty face looked at the pathetic score on the token and said bitterly to the leader of the group. Everyone turned to look at the leader of the group when they heard the question. Their eyes were also filled with helplessness. They had already searched this place for nearly 2 days. They couldn't even find Xiaoyan's shadow, and because of the joint efforts of all of them, the score couldn't be obtained either. Once 5 days were up, everyone's score had been reduced by half. The lowest score among them. It was only 10 points. The young man in the lead was Zhao Yuanhao, who was appointed by Lu Xiangyang. The latter was a figure that was second only to Lu Xiangyang in punishment department. In the last competition, he had lost to Bai Yongzhao. After that, he was ranked 13th in the Soaring Dragon ranking, and his strength had already reached the 4th Dao Emperor realm. Upon hearing this, Zhao Yuanhao sighed. How could he not be anxious? This time, he wanted to enter the realm in Valley as well, but he couldn't even see Xiaoyan's figure. This bastard was nowhere to be seen, not even his corpse could be seen. Whether it was Lu Xiangyang or him, both of them felt extremely uneasy. Let's wait for a few more days. My score is only 54 points left. I don't believe that Xiaoyan will never come out. Gritting his teeth, Zhao Yuanhao spoke in a deep voice. His dark face had become even more dignified. What, are you all waiting for me? A faint voice sounded after his voice sounded. In the next moment, a human figure had already gently landed on a huge rock a short distance away from everyone. Xiaoyan. Zhao Yuanhao suddenly recovered his senses. His face immediately turned ugly. He had actually not noticed that this fellow had quietly arrived here. Such a big formation. Xiaoyan looked at the others and smiled. Most of these people were emperors of 2 or 3 Daos. Even Zuna and Kalen could easily defeat 5 sovereigns of the Dao after using the heavenly weapon. These guys were not worthy of his attention. What are you doing here? Zhao Yuanhao immediately stood up and looked at Xiaoyan vigilantly. His finger in his sleeve shook and crushed a red flame pipe. I was asking you. Could it be that all of you are here waiting to give me some points? Having advanced to the 5th Dao Emperor realm, Xiaoyan was in a good mood. He looked at Zhao Yuanhao and the 10 men behind him, who had nervous expressions. Shocking expression. What a joke. We are here, of course we have something to do. The corner of Zhao Yuanhao's mouth twitched as he casually said, "Where is Lu Xiangyang?" Narrowing his eyes, Xiaoyan didn't want to spend too much time with these guys. A few days had passed. These guys with average strength probably didn't have many points. Lu Xiangyang was different. That guy wanted to enter the realm in Valley, but he almost went crazy. These days, he had probably gotten quite a number of points. If he could get those points directly, it would be more than enough. Why are you looking for him? Zhao Yuanhao stared at Xiaoyan and asked in a deep voice. He wanted to buy some time for the others. After seeing Xiaoyan's strength, he knew that none of them were a match for him. Nonsense. What else can we do? Of course, we have to split the spoils. Xiaoyan took out the blue flame ruler and smashed it hard on the huge rock, instantly creating a deep crack in the rock. He looked at Zhao Yuanhao with a mysterious smile and said, "I'm not in a hurry. I'll wait for him here." After saying that, he sat on the huge rock and hugged the blue flame ruler. He smiled as sweat flowed down his back. Zhao Yuanhao inhaled a deep breath of air, and even his voice trembled slightly. He opened his mouth, but did not know what to say. If he comes, it will save me a lot of trouble by collecting all the points. Xiaoyan's sharp eyes swept across the crowd behind Zhao Yuanhao. He pursed his lips as if he had noticed something. Arrogant. Even if you are ranked 4th on the Soaring Dragon ranking and can defeat a Peak of Monarch King, can you fight so many of us? A burly young man took a step forward and cried out. At the same time, Origin Kiss surged out from his body. He had already reached the level of 3 emperors. The Origin Kiss that surged out exploded with a loud bang. His aura was quite intimidating. It should be possible. Xiaoyan glanced at the burly young man in an indifferent manner. His expression did not change as he casually said, "Forget about these ordinary emperor experts. Even if there were 10 Lu Xiangyang, he would still be able to defeat them even if he used all his strength." "You." The burly young man was infuriated by Xiaoyan's simple and crude reply. He wanted to, not to fight. Upon seeing Zhao Yuanhao's gesture, although the burly young man was furious, he still had his reasons. Immediately, he gritted his teeth and stopped speaking. Humph. At this moment, Xiaoyan's eyebrows suddenly twitched. His eyes curiously looked into the distance. There seemed to be a strange fluctuation coming from that direction, and it seemed to contain endless rage and bestial force. It's the heavenly beast. In an instant, he analyzed the source of this fluctuation. Xiaoyan blinked his eyes and stood up. He wanted to go and see what was going on. If there was really a heavenly beast whose strength had been greatly reduced, defeating it would be far more than obtaining everyone's points. He, Xiaoyan, what's wrong? You want to secretly leave just like that? Isn't that a little too simple? Right at this moment, Lu Xiangyang's cold voice was heard from afar, and he was rapidly approaching the place. Xiaoyan raised his head and looked over. Lu Xiangyang had brought nearly 30 people with him, and was rushing over with great speed. The origin key on the spirit weapon in his hand was surging, and it was filled with a frightening aura. So you all have joined forces. No wonder. Xiaoyan was slightly stunned. Then, he looked at Zhao Yuanhao with a smile. The coldness contained in his smile made the latter shiver. This kind of killing intent was not something that the people of Punishment Department could possess. Xiaoyan, you can't blame us for this. You are too strong. You have scared all of us, so. In the crowd, Yang Tao's voice was like muffled thunder as he spoke in a rough voice. Ha ha, then I am honored. Xiaoyan laughed loudly when he heard this. His eyes swept across the dozens of people present, and the corner of his mouth revealed a trace of a smile. Lu Xiangyang, it seems like your means aren't enough. Why didn't Bai Yongzhao and the others follow us? He paused for a moment. Xiaoyan ignored the ugly expression on Lu Xiangyang's face. His body moved and he had already rushed into the distance. Only a smiling voice was slowly transmitted over. I have other matters to attend to, so I won't play with you guys anymore. Your so-called alliance. Who will benefit in the end? Tusk. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.